I have worked for the company I work for now, Motion, for a long time. I believe I'm 19 years right now. I have had a variety of roles, a lot of roles. I have had five different roles, I think, in the last 6 years. So I've done a lot of roles. In the last 5 years, Sue has been one of the primary people, and in the last several years, she was promoted to CEO. And I will say that Sue has experienced me on my many different levels, and some on which that I wish perhaps she had not seen me on, but that was life at the time. And what I will say is, I'm very grateful that she stuck with me. And one of the key things that she did that has really changed things for me is she invested in coaching for me.
Mm.
And you were the first coach that I had. And I remember my first call getting on with you. I think I spent the majority of the hour crying. I was in a bad place. And you were patient and kind and worked with me through the things that you could see very clearly from early conversations of us. And I will say, I appreciate how kind you were. But as I reflect on it, you also didn't let me get away with anything. I mean, there were things that needed to happen. There were ways that I was showing up. There were behaviors that I was exhibiting that, quite frankly, needed an intervention.
Mm.
And I had to do some hard things. But I had such trust in what you were sharing with me and the things that I was learning. And when I did those hard things, it paid off so remarkably. Like the results were amazing. And once I started doing that, then I just became really passionate about how do I find the rest of the stuff. And once I did that, it really changed how I approached everything in my life, not just business. It did make a difference for me in um, certainly in my career and certainly my relationship with my CEO, because I came to the realization that any difficulties that I perceived I had encountered in the past or things, that weren't going my way, the majority of them they were because of the way that I was showing up. They were because of the way that I was viewing things, the way that I was perceiving, the way I was reacting. I was very, very reactionary. And through the work that we did and the work that I had to do on my own, having candid conversations with my family, with people that I worked with, conversations that you might think you would never dare to ask someone the questions that you asked, or maybe you wouldn't even think to ask the questions that you asked because you took so many things for granted. And it really opened up doors and opened my eyes. And for me now, I can see clearly some of the things that were holding me back. And I never, ever would have found those things on my own. I couldn't find them online. I would not have known the work to do. It was just so special and impactful for me that I would honestly recommend coaching to anybody. Even if someone thinks they've arrived, they're where they need to be, there is always something that you're not seeing that can benefit you to see.
It's really interesting, Maria. I remember when I first started coaching you, I got the background and I was told you were one of the highest performers, that you had the highest culture scores and you were already a high performer. So it's interesting that even though you were already at such a high level, you were willing to take the coaching. So is there anything you could say about the way the type of coaching it was and the approach that opened you up to really be able to hear things you'd resisted in the past and really take yourself on because you really
And it's interesting now looking back 5 years after that time to see how different things are. I mean, I feel completely different, and a lot of it relates back to that work. And again, I never could have quantified it the way that you did. It was very, to me, very unique, very personal, very motivating, and you could see where you could work through it. And we updated that Maria machine, I recall, like on several calls. You probably can explain it better than I.